Hey everyone, today we're going to be making a fun headband, and I've started just by making a part here on the top of her head on the side, and then I've made another part that just runs from the back of there and down to her ears on both sides. And then I'm going to grab some hair on each side of this part, just a thin piece. So I have these two small sections of hair. I'm just going to combine them for now on the top of her head with a clip to keep them out of the way. And then I'm just going to bring these two sections of hair that I parted out in the front, and I'm going to pull them underneath this hair and make what we call Barbie bangs. So I'm going to have her hold this hair up for me for a minute. So I have all of this hair smoothed back on both sides of her head, and I'm just going to combine these pieces here underneath into one. Now that that is secured, she can let this hair down. And now we are ready to work on this top part. I'm just going to remove that clip and then split this in half again so that both sides are even. So I basically just round my comb down the middle of that and split it into two sections. And then we're going to start working on just one side at a time. And to begin with, I'm going to spray this down with some water. And it is pretty necessary to get this really wet or you're going to have flyaways. If you don't like working with wet hair, you could probably add some gel. I would say the wetter you get the hair, the easier this is going to be. And before you start making the chains, you're probably going to want to decide how many you're going to do so that you can make these sections even. I'm going to make 4 chains, and so I'm splitting this hair in half and then splitting it in half again, just so that I can kind of see where I need to make the sections. So I'm going to start with this one in the front. Then I'm splitting the hair in half. Make sure that you have the strands pretty even. And then I'm going to start by crossing one strand over the other, and then bringing the other strand up through the middle, tying it just like you would when you're tying a shoe. And then I'm pulling that all the way till it's at the top of her head, that first knot. Then I'm just going to keep repeating that all the way down. This time I'm not pulling it all the way to the top, I'm leaving a little circle there. And you want to make sure as you're doing this that you're tying the knot the same way every time so that they lay even. And what I mean by that is that this strand on the left, I'm bringing it underneath, and then that is the one I'm using to pull up through the middle. And I'm doing that the same way every time. You also want to try and get the little circles about the same size. So I'm just going to keep going down until I run out of hair. That's going to be the last one there. And now I'm ready to start working on the second section. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to leave this hanging here, and it should stay just like that. So now I'm ready to start on the second chain, and I'm going to start this the same way. I'm splitting the hair in half, and I'm going to start with a half of a knot. I'm pulling it all the way up to the top of her head. And then this time, before I tie the second chain, I'm going to loop this strand that's sitting next to this side through that chain on the top. So I'm just kind of making a little loop out of that, and I'm going to bring it right up through the top of that chain. And then I'm just going to tie it the same way I did before. And again, I'm trying to get these circles about the same size all the way down. So same thing on this next one. I'm going to make a little loop with this first and thread it through the chain, that second link down. And then go ahead and tie it, and I'm just going to repeat that all the way down. Okay, so I finished that second chain, and now I'm just going to make 2 more the exact same way. So I'm going to turn the camera off for now, and I'll turn it back on when I am finished with the next 2. Okay, so I've completed all of those chains. We have 4 of them across, and they're all connected. And then I'm going to take these ends and tie them underneath here and combine it with this ponytail that we made before. And yes, she is eating what you think she's eating. I hate to do it to you guys, but we couldn't resist. So the hardest thing here is that you don't want to ruin the chains, so don't pull them too tight. And then I'm just taking a tiny elastic here and I'm combining those ends right in with that other elastic. So the first side is done, and that is what it looks like. I'm going to make some more chains here on this other side with the hair that we left out from the top. And on this side, I think I'm only going to make 3 because there seems to be less hair here. But I'm going to make them the same way, so I will turn the camera back on when we are all finished with those. Okay, so I've completed this side as well. We only did 3 chains across on this side as opposed to 4 over here. And then I'm going to have her hold this hair up for me while I bring this back and add it into that ponytail. So this is the finished style. I think it would be cute just like this, but it would also be fun to maybe add some volume here in the back, like a little bump, and then put some curls in as well.